Hello everyone, I am Sharpedo43 once again bringing you all another Wi-Fi match. Today we're going to be playing Xavier, a guy that we played just a few matches ago obviously. He wanted a rematch, so I'm just going to give it to him right now. But yeah, so this match, once again, it's going to be like untiered because we're going to be using the D-maxing, G-maxing stuff. And yeah, so we're going to see what we can do actually. Now, I haven't tried this team here against them, so I'm actually going to see how it works out with D-max applied, honestly. I want to believe that it'll probably like help me, you know, do much better against him. In the last match, I actually was fine, honestly. I was able to hold my own against him, but I want to see if this team can actually give me similar results, obviously, especially with the Dynamaxing being allowed and whatnot. You know, since we both agreed to do it with Dynamaxing and whatnot. But yeah. So that's going to be the team I'm going to use, the OU team that I usually use for OU anyway. But yeah, so my opponent's team, as you can see right here, it's going to consist of a Cramorant, which I've never seen before. Galvantula, he used that last time. I'm guessing he just wants to get sticky webs up and put in work with Arcanine, Cramorant, Snorlax, and, well, he also has a Maractus for some reason. But Togekiss can be really threatening under webs, so that's kind of why I'm glad I have the Excadrill here to Rapid Spin if need be, honestly. And he doesn't have any immunities to Rapid Spin, so he has no spin blocker, which is good for me. So, yeah. Now, here we're going to basically determine our leads, because I'm really smelling the Galvantula coming in right now. I think I decided to lead with the, I think it was the Ferrothorn, just to set up the spikes right away, because if he's going to get webs up, I might as well get, like, as many layers of spikes as possible, as he's willing to stay in and whatnot. I don't have to worry about Hidden Power Fire either, honestly, because, fun fact, Hidden Power is not actually a move in this game. You can't actually learn Hidden Power Fire in this game because the move was in fact removed, so yeah. Also, as you can see right here, I'm actually going to be able to speed the video up this time around. I chose to do that this time, honestly, because it should be noted that this match actually, like the last one that we had, it dragged a lot again. So, in fact, I go as far as to say that it probably dragged more here than it did the last time, just given the fact that I had to speed up the entire video, honestly. Or the entire battle, anyway. Not the entire video, but the entire battle, that is. Because it was just took way too damn long, and I was just losing my patience, I tells you. But anyways, yeah, so as you can see, he did in fact lead with the Galvantula, and I'm going to lead off with the Ferrothorn, and I'm actually going to go straight for the spikes. He went straight for the webs, which was what I was anticipating, honestly. So now I'm just going to go for the Leech Seed here, just in case he wants to stay in. He did, and I took a Bug Buzz, but it didn't do too much damage, thankfully, and again, I don't have to worry about Hidden Power Fire on this, so it's kind of easy to stay in with this Ferrothorn, actually, if I do say so myself. I'm actually like seeing if this thing is like choiced or not or something. No, it's not choiced, obviously. If it's gonna go for Volt Switch, jeez. For some reason I thought it was choiced, even though it clearly just switched up its move earlier from Sticky Webs to Bug Buzz. So I don't know what the hell I'm saying, honestly. But as you can see, now he's gonna hard switch into Arcanine here rather than Volt Switching for some reason. Maybe he doesn't even have Volt Switch. He might actually have Thunder, honestly, over Volt Switch, and maybe Giga Drain or something. So maybe no Volt Switch whatsoever. But yeah, he went into Arcanine, and I think here I just go into Tyranitar because I just don't want to deal with this Tyranitar or this Arcanine and its Flare Blitzing habits. Although this could have been a risky play if he actually had close combat, but you know, I don't know that honestly. So I just wanted to see what he would go for. I feel like Flare Blitz was an obvious play either way, honestly. But he actually doesn't end up doing either of those two, honestly, because he actually ends up like switching out again, predicting me to switch, and he actually goes into Maractus. I can only assume he was predicting me to switch here, honestly, because the matchup is actually in his favor here, and because I'm actually afraid of Needle Arm, so I'm actually going to switch out and go into Dragapult predicting a Needle Arm, just because I'm afraid of Needle Arms. If Cacturne is anything to go by, this thing also should also have Needle Arm, honestly, given that it's a Cactus Pokemon as well. But yeah, instead he's actually going to go for the Spikes, which is actually really obnoxious, because now I have to worry about Sticky Webs and Spikes, so I need to find a way to get Excadrill into Rapid Spin. He does reveal Spiky Shield here, so I go for U-turn thinking that he's not going to be able to do much here, or maybe just set up another layer of spikes while I go into Excadrill, but he actually had Spiky Shield, which means I actually do take some damage because I went for a U-turn, which is a contact move, so that sucks. Now here, I actually just went for the U-turn again thinking he's not going to go for Spiky Shield again. He doesn't, but he actually had Sucker Punch, so like this Maractus is actually putting in quite an amount of work, honestly. It's mostly because I actually have no idea what this thing can do, honestly. The only thing I can conceivably think of this thing doing is Needle Arming, since I know Cacturne can get that move, so I figured this should get this move too, honestly. But then again, it's Pokemon. Not a lot of mons have moves that make any sort of sense. But yeah, this had Sucker Punch, and yeah, I didn't see that coming, obviously, so as a result, my Dragapult got crippled. But thankfully, now I got the Excadrill in here. Now, me being a little hasty, obviously, went for Rapid Spin right away, rather than setting up the Swords Dance, which is probably what I should have done, honestly, then go for Rapid Spin, because I would have been a +2 here, and then he would have wasted this Spiky Shield, but I didn't end up doing that, because, I just got hasty. I wanted to get the hazards off, honestly. Going for Swords Dance was probably the safe play, but because if he didn't switch out, then I would have been able to go for the Rapid Spin later, and he switches into, say, Arcanine, but I would have been a +2, so it wouldn't have been a big deal. But I just made the wrong play here, obviously, because now that this Maractus is out of the way, thankfully I do get rid of the hazards, which is actually really, really good, and I still have mines, honestly. But the problem is that now he gets a very good switch in, honestly, and a lot of his team is actually faster than my Excadrill, so I have a lot to worry about, honestly, if I do say so myself. He's going to go into this Cramorant, for instance, and I'm actually forced to switch out now. I think these things could get U-turn, but nonetheless, I'm going to go into Rotom, just because I resist most of his stab moves, which is, I think, Flying and Water, I think. I could be wrong. Maybe it's just Flying, honestly. But he does go for the Hurricane here, honestly, and it does quite an amount despite it resisting, so it's probably offensive, honestly. I do get confused, which sucks. I'm going to go for Volt Switch here, and he's actually going to go for Endure, which is actually, like, I don't know what the hell is he trying to do here, honestly. I'm guessing take a hit and then maybe get, like, +1 speed with a berry or something. I don't know what the tech behind this was, actually, but either way, I didn't get to find out, so here he's going to switch out, I guess predicting me to do something else, obviously. I think I just still went for the Volt Switch, honestly, just because I wanted to really get this thing out of my way. I snapped out of confusion right after he switched out, which is actually kind of funny, not gonna lie. But yeah, here I think I just go into Dragapult, because Dragapult is clearly faster than this thing. Or actually, I didn't even, no, actually, yeah, I didn't know that, never mind. I was gonna say I didn't know that because he didn't actually reveal his set yet, but he actually did. He's not Scarf, which was actually what I was fearing, honestly, because he could actually outspeed my Dragapult and maybe hit me with, I don't know, like a Thunder and then paralyze me or something, which would have been bad. But none of that, so I can just take this out with a Shadow Ball, and now I don't have to worry about the Sticky Webs again. So that's actually good for me. The only problem I have now is that he can go into Snorlax here if he actually doesn't, or if he actually suspects that I'm Choice Specs, honestly. But thankfully he doesn't. He actually goes into Togekiss, which is equally bad either way, because he could have Dazzling Gleam, and that's just going to take out my Dragapult from here. And I kind of feel like I need Dragapult. Not exactly sure why, but I kind of felt like I might have needed it, honestly. Just because it specs and hits a lot of his team really hard. So I switched it out and just went into Corsola here just to take the hits. Again, I'm not sure if this was even a good idea. I feel like because of the Snorlax, though, that maybe this was one of my more disposable mons. I just needed to get the rocks up here, too, so that when he switches in the Cramorant and the Arcanine, they both kind of get crippled by rocks, you know? But yeah, so I get the rocks up. Thankfully, I don't flinch here, but he actually did get the Nasty Plot off, you know, which is bad. So I can only take one more freaking, well, actually, I can't take anything else now. I just got the rocks up, and now I have to, like, choose to let something go down. And I think it's this Corsola, obviously, at the end of the day. I tried going for Willows in case he misses the Air Slash, but unfortunately doesn't miss. And, yeah, this Corsola goes down. Now, from here, I'll admit, I was getting a little annoyed, honestly, at this guy's team. Because this guy's team was just kind of being, it was kind of weird, honestly. Like, there was, like, not a whole lot of plays that made any sort of sense to me, honestly. But I mean, a lot of the plays I made were also not making any sort of sense because of how hasty I was getting. It's because the match was kind of dragging a little bit. So I just kind of was like, okay, I'm just going to Rotom right here, and I'm going to Volt Switch. Now here, I feel like maybe, just maybe, I should have went into either Tyranitar or the Excadrill. I think Tyranitar, because Tyranitar was, could have set up the, you know, the Sandstorm, and then I could have sent in Excadrill. But I was kind of debating on whether or not I wanted to let T-Tar go down to this Togekiss, because I feel like this Togekiss could actually, or this Tyranitar can actually put in work against the Snorlax, because it's a physical attacker. Because, you know, Snorlaxes take these special attacks very, very well. Maybe I should have sacked Dragapult now that I think about it. Because I think after this Togekiss, I think the only other two mons he had was, well, he actually had Cramorant too, but I mean, that kind of gets crippled anyways by Rotom. So, again, I don't know, man. I was getting maybe way too hasty here, and I just wasn't thinking of my plays very well. I think I was actually also kind of obsessed with the timer going, with the battle going to timer, basically, or timer, jeez, I can't talk, man. Cut me some slack, man. But, yeah, I'm just going to go for Ferrothorn for some reason. Again, I should have probably went into T-Tar. I think I was just fearing the Dazzling Gleam, but you're going to see here that he probably doesn't even have it because he never ends up going for it. He never even ends up revealing it, so he probably didn't even have Dazzling Gleam. I don't know what that other move was then, honestly. It's not the Fog, and it's not Roost because he's not going for it. So, again, maybe he did have the No, he couldn't have, because you're gonna see later in a bit right now. But anyways, I send in Ferrothorn and I just lose it to 2 air slashes. Again, I don't know why I send in Ferrothorn. I should have probably went in the T-Tar to set up the Sandstorm and then send in Excadrill to put in work, but I didn't do that, obviously. Now I go into Rotom and just Volt Switch again, and I was kind of hoping I get a crit here, just because this Togekiss has been like staying alive for too long at this point, and it's just been doing a lot of work for literally no reason. Well, probably because I'm playing a little bit badly, honestly. It's because this part of the match is kind of where I play a little bit sloppy, because I'm here thinking that certain scenarios are gonna happen. I think I also end up like over predicting a bit too, honestly. I think that's another of my problems in this match, is that I over predict a bit. And yeah, because I'm like thinking he'll switch out, but he never does. He actually just stays in and continues attacking. I guess it makes sense that he doesn't switch out though, because I do have a lot of hazards on my side of the field, so I probably should have thought of that, honestly, but I didn't, obviously. Hell, look, as you can see right here, I'm actually considering going for T-Wave, even though I could just simply attack it, honestly. I thankfully do now, because I flinched earlier. I wasn't able to attack it earlier. But yeah, or it was now actually, but I attack it later. Jeez, it's because I'm getting lost, honestly. I get lost, I tells you. That's why I'm all over the place right now, just as I was in this match, honestly. But yeah, here we go. So I'm gonna take another Air Slash. I thankfully don't flinch now, and now I take out this Togekiss with a Crunch. But damn, did this Togekiss put in a lot of freaking work, and it's all because I didn't even know what the hell to do, honestly. That's kind of dumb. Like, this has got to be one of the worst matches. Like, whether I win or lose this match, this has got to be one of the worst matches I've ever done, just because of how terribly I was playing throughout this entire match. It's just dumb. But yeah, so here he's gonna bring the Cramorant again. I can only assume he was trying to scare me here, because he actually ends up staying in here, going for a Hurricane. I was actually thinking of switching out, but I wanted to see what was like up on this team. Like, how many turns of Sandstorm did I have? Was I really ready to let Tyranitar go down here? Because what I wanted to do was maybe let this Excadrill put work. Like, I wanted to preserve the Tyranitar to get the Sandstorm back up, and then, you know, set up the sweep basically with Excadrill. But yeah, he just goes for Hurricane. Again, I can only assume he was predicting me to switch out, because I wouldn't want to stay in on a Tyranitar, but I did anyways, and I just went for Crunch, and thankfully I took out the Cramorant. So no crazy shenanigans by this Cramorant, which is good. Now he's going to send out the Arcanine, and I already knew this thing wasn't Intimidate, because he didn't actually lower my attack earlier. But yeah, I think here I just debate on whether or not I want to preserve the Tyranitar again, because again, the Sandstorm, not Sticky Whiffs, the Sandstorm could be useful for Excadrill. Also to cripple the Snorlax a little bit too, honestly, because it is about to go down. I think it's here where I finally decide to send in this Dragapult, realizing that now that it's not going to be that useful against the Snorlax. Actually, no, not really. That's actually a lie. I actually, in fact, me trying to keep this Dragapult was probably going to be the cause of my downfall here. Because, yeah, look, the Sandstorm was gone, which is why I preserved the Tyranitar. Now I'm going to send it back in so I can set it back up. And yeah, okay, this is the part where I think I should have won, actually. Like, I really deadass should have won, honestly. But I commit one of the stupidest things ever here, honestly. So he's going to switch out, I think predicting me to switch back in. He goes into Snorlax, takes a lot of hazards damage, which is really, really good for me. Takes Sandstorm damage as well. I go for Crunch here, which is fine. He's going to reveal to me, I think after this curse that he's going to go for, that he's actually, in fact, the G-Max Snorlax. Not the D-Max Snorlax, but the G-Max Snorlax. Does Snorlax even have a D-Max form? I don't know. I think it does, yeah. This is a G-Max Snorlax, which means it's going to be... I actually don't know. I don't know if it's meant to be even bulkier. I mean, all D-Max and G-Max monsters are typically bulkier than their normal counterparts, but I just was wondering how bulky was this Snorlax going to be after G-Maxing and whatnot. So I was wondering what the hell I should go for after this thing just went for Curse. I think I got the defense drop after it D-Maxes, so I was thinking his defense is gonna be neutralized here. But chances are that I didn't see that coming, and you're gonna see how that's the case right now. Because look, this thing G-Maxes, and I think I just go for Crunch, the last one too. Doesn't do too much. It's almost gonna go down though, which is actually really good. But unfortunately for me, as you can see, he does actually have the Ayapapa berry. Although thankfully, it doesn't recover as much as I was fearing at first, because you know the G-Maxing gives it even more HP than normal. So it's just recovering, I guess, based on what its original HP was. So that's good to know. But he's gonna hit me with some Max Quake thingy-mabobber, and he's gonna get a +1 Spadef. Now here's where I commit a huge mistake, and this was the play that I think caused my downfall for this match. But what happened was that as you can see, I tried to D-max and just go for the max Merwin here, Wormin, whatever the hell it's called. Yeah, but as you can see, it's still 140 base power despite it coming from a Draco meter. I don't know why the hell the power is not boosted more, but it isn't. But I was thinking, you know what, I'm still specs at the end of the day, and I'm still like, you know, it's still stab on Dragapult, so maybe, just maybe, I can take it out nonetheless. It was at +1 SPDEF, but I figured, nah, I'm still like, it's really powerful anyway. So after D-maxing, which gives me even more power than normal, I figured it should be able to take it out, no? But as you can see, this does nothing. I know it's a +1, and I know it's pretty good on the SPDEF side, but I didn't think it was going to take it that well, honestly. I was thinking at least, like, if it survived, I was thinking at least it would do more than that. Like, maybe take it to the red again or something. But no, it did absolutely nothing despite it being specs, stab, and 140 base power. And the power boosted from the Dynamaxing. Assuming it actually does boost my power, because if not, then I guess I just lied to myself and just clearly don't know how these mechanics work whatsoever. Just the more you know. But anyway, yeah, so I send out this extra drill now since the sandstorm is up. But the problem is that I kind of mess up again, honestly. I go for Iron Hit because I was kind of fearing that this thing would survive the Earthquake too, honestly. But as you can see, that would have been enough to take it out, honestly. And I should have remembered the fact that I did get the defense drop from Tyranitar earlier, pretty much negating the +1 defense that I got earlier from the curse. But instead I went for Iron Hit thinking I could maybe flinch it, but no, I didn't, and as a result I lost extra drill again. Now unfortunately for me, I thought here I could still win basically because this Snorlax is super weakened. But I wasn't looking at the top right corner of the damn screen and realized that I just lost to the timer basically, because he still had the Arcanine that, by the way, I actually forgot he even had, because this match was dragging way too much and I was getting way too hasty and desperate for this match to end, honestly. But I wanted to see how many mons I could take out of his team, but unfortunately that caused me to actually lose a lot of mons for no reason. Basically made a bunch of bad plays all around, and you know, as a result, he didn't take me down. In fact, I felt like if I actually had a bit more time, I would have been able to take down both of his mons. But again, this game doesn't give you that much time, honestly. So I ended up just losing basically because of that. But yeah, there you have it. That's that's the next game. I lost the timer, which is, you know, lame. But I've also won my set of matches due to the timer. So you know what they say, it's the first time for everything, and this is my first loss here due to the timer anyway. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I'll catch you guys for the next match. Take it easy. Have yourselves a damn good one.